Okay. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming to this developer workshop. I know all of you, but I'm Emma, if you forgot. We don't have attendance up here now because we're going to have it at the end because we want it to also be kind of like a form for you guys after you've heard about the projects to also be able to say like what you're interested in, or if you still have questions, leave those after you've gotten a little more information. So that'll be at the end. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to walk through our current projects. We also will mention how to get Kubiks, and towards the end, we're going to talk about how to contribute code for those who are not familiar with Git and GitHub. To start, let me show you guys this. This is our actual GitHub, K Blockchain Institute, and so it's literally just K Blockchain on GitHub. We have a lot of, whoa, does that look kind of weird?
Yeah, I think the CSS reloaded.
Whoa, GitHub, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That was kind of weird. So that's why you debug your code, everybody. So these are all the repos we have. We have some that are like basically really outdated. We actually should probably edit that. But the top 3 are the ones that we're going to be going through. These are like the important kind of ongoing ones. In addition to this, in terms of blockchain projects at KU, there are actually things beyond this as well if you're interested in like learning more. So there's kind of some like, I guess satellite projects is maybe what we would call them, which includes like the 3 of us, Hudson, Cameron, and myself, and then we have another project partner. We have like our capstone project is around blockchain. Cameron is also working on some very top secret research around like blockchain and biometric data, which you can ask him about. I don't know if he'll give you answers because it's really secret. If you're also like more interested in like academic research, there are also a few professors who have had / currently have like ongoing blockchain research. So like those are also things that are going on. And then we're also hoping to have a few blockchain sponsors at KU, like at least one. So there'll be kind of like an opportunity to develop other things there. So keep that in mind, that there's also like what we're talking about is not necessarily limited to this. I've also included, okay, sorry, I kind of, okay. Well, we'll just have that. Oh, that's okay. This is a link. I'm going to share these slides out after. There's like external Git and GitHub tutorials that are helpful that I would encourage you guys to look into because we won't be able to get super deep into that tonight. This QR code was just the GitHub, but I guess I already showed it to you guys, so we don't need to look at that. All right, so this is also just like a little bit of context. So when we talk about like Web 2 versus Web 3 technologies in like what we're doing, I just wanted to explain a little more what that means. So like Web 2 is kind of like the more standard tools that don't specifically relate to blockchain and also aren't specifically designed to be compatible with like blockchain technologies themselves. So like that would include React, MongoDB, Next. These are a few things that come up in our specific projects. There's also like so much outside of that. And then this kind of a spectrum, and on the other end, we have a few tools that are specific to blockchains themselves. They are blockchains themselves, or they are designed to be compatible with kind of like the blockchain ecosystem, or they are designed to be decentralized in some way, even if they're not a blockchain themselves. So like IPFS is like decentralized technology. It's like Graph, I don't know. It's something that's not a blockchain, but it's similar. Ethereum's a blockchain. Graph is like blockchain indexing. Polygon's blockchain. So the point of me showing you guys this is that where these 3 projects that we're talking about, they kind of fall on different ends of this. So like if you're really, really like, I really want to get like super into the blockchain development stack, then maybe you would be more interested in like leaning that way. Versus if you're like, okay, I'm not so sold on blockchain necessarily, but I want to like gain development skills and experience that would be helpful for like any project and just any general software or web development, that would probably be more on this end where these things actually have like nothing to do with blockchain itself. So does that kind of make sense? Anyone have questions about that? Okay, we'll also like continually kind of be explaining that. Okay, so the first project we want to highlight is the DAO. I think Hudson's going to come up and share a bit about that. I have it pulled up in the second tab. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, I don't. I have it pulled up on this screen. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, you got it from here.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, this is a DAO. I'm sure everyone's kind of seen it maybe at some point, but I'll kind of go over it again real quickly. Yeah, but so there's tasks, and we have like our projects over here, tasks associated with it, and associated payouts. So what's cool about this is when you get the payout, you get paid in the Kubix token, which will go, like you'll be able to see in your wallet if you add it properly, which looks like Emma didn't. Well, it's also on a different network. But yeah, so basically where's the slideshow? Is it over here? Okay. So the main technologies, like for the front end, it's still very standard where it's JavaScript based, React. It uses the Next framework, which like builds on top of React basically. So if you're just interested in just like straight up web development, making things look nice, there's still that here with the DAO, but the DAO is more geared towards like blockchain in general. So for example, like Polygon, the DAO's deployed on the Mumbai testnet, so it's free. It doesn't cost any actual money to use, but it still uses the smart contracts that are available on things like Ethereum and Polygon. And for people that don't know, Polygon is like basically a scaling solution built on top of Ethereum. So it still enables smart contracts, but at higher speeds and lower gas fees. So what the graph does is it's a decentralized data indexer. So basically, for example, when someone gets like the Kubix payout, there's a transaction that goes on in the smart contract that actually mints those Kubix to the given account. And when that happens, at the same time, there's an event that is emitted that basically just kind of summarizes what just happened. And it will basically say, this wallet just received 10 tokens, right? And what the graph does is it will listen for those events, and then it will index all that data in a decentralized way. But that just makes it so that data is more easily accessible to the front end, because instead what you would have to do is send a transaction every time to the Polygon chain to get the data from like what happened in the past from the site, which would be really slow and inefficient every time you're loading up the site. And another thing that kind of helps simplify that too is IPFS. If you don't know, IPFS stands for Interplanetary File System, which is basically just kind of a way to store files in a decentralized way instead of like having it stored on like a Amazon Web Service server somewhere, right? You can have it distributed across multiple places all across the world, and so theoretically the information should never go away. And so that just kind of lines up with the Web3 ethos of decentralization. Even though it's not necessarily a blockchain itself, it's still crucial if we want to like keep the DAO more decentralized. So back to the DAO itself. So the things that I've been working on recently is for the direct democracy Kubi voting here. I updated it, so on the back end, the graph is what's responsible for the indexing of the data. Instead, before I was having it manually done with IPFS. And so the only thing that needs to be changed over now is the voting for Kubix, because that's still on the old system instead of the new system of the graph. So I guess if you're really interested in getting more familiar with blockchain technologies and protocols, like I know it can sound like a lot and sound complicated, and I really want to be able to like break it down into like all the little pieces to help you understand right now, but that would just take too much time for this type of presentation. So if you're interested in it and learning more about it, you can talk to me. It's really not that scary, and I can point you in good directions for tutorials and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess that's where the Kubi DAO is at right now. And something else is if you aren't a member, here I'll switch yet and want to become one just to be able to like earn Kubix for doing tasks. But yeah, so it'll take you through this join process. You'll click join now. You'd refresh with your MetaMask, and then there'd be a screen for you to just put in your information. If you haven't already joined, go ahead and do that. And if you have any issues, let me know. After you join, it will like have a loading sign for a while, ask you to confirm a MetaMask transaction, and then when you do that, refresh the page again, and then the leaderboard page should go back to looking like this. The user page should go back to look like this. And then that's how you'll know you're joined. And then if you want to claim a task, when it loads, it's as simple as just clicking on the task and clicking claim. And then you should be good to go. Yeah, I guess that's it for the DAO. Do you have any questions or something?
Can we talk a little bit about why we have the DAO? What is the purpose of it?
Well, the purpose is so we can assign tasks easily for these projects. So even if you're not working on the DAO, you'll use the DAO to kind of get rewarded for the work you're doing for either the Kubi website or the Spencer project or any other project we work on. And then we also have voting for this is direct democracy voting for if we are electing our next round of executives. And then the Kubix voting is based off how much you participated. And so it's a little more weighted voting for, I guess, more informal decisions, should we have, Yash was talking about earlier, should we have, what's that called?
Pizza from Domino's.
Yeah, should we have pizza from Domino's instead of from Pizza Shuttle? So something like that would be here. So yeah, is that good?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So these projects, do you just get committed to the GitHubs, or how do you do these projects?
So if you wanted to get involved with the DAO, what you need to do is clone the Git repo, and anyone that's interested in it should talk to me, because I'll kind of see exactly what you want to get out of it, and I can make specific tasks on the task manager for you that I think would fit your skill level and what you're interested in. And then I'll give you some more information kind of for the initial setup of the GitHub. One thing that's important, and probably all of our projects will have, is you'll need to get the environment variable folder, which is kind of all the private information, the API keys and stuff like that you don't want to push to GitHub. You have a local copy of it on your stored just on your machine instead of GitHub, so that information isn't leaked. But those are basically the only steps to get onboarded to any of the projects.
I think towards the end, I'll do a little demo of how to clone the Kubi DAO repository onto your local system.
Okay,
I'll go through that.
cool. I don't know who's next.
This line, I think it's me next. Yeah,
Okay.
Killed it. All right. Hey guys, I'm Tej, and I'll be talking about the Kubi website. So, like Emma said, our Kubi website is probably the project is a more beginner-oriented project. It doesn't have, I don't think it has any Web3 aspects associated with it necessarily, at least so far. I guess I'll just talk about maybe some development plans that we might have, and just what sort of target are we aiming to achieve. So firstly, and I think this is funny, we actually pay $231 every year for hosting the website, and we actually pay that money every 24th February, 26th April. So around 2-ish months from now. So the aim, I guess, my aim, or our aim as a whole, should be to have some sort of website delivered at least before 26th April. Preferably before that would be also awesome, but 26th April will be our final deadline because we don't want the $231 to go away. At the same time, we also understand that blockchain is scary. Sometimes I don't even understand the words Hudson says, and I've been in this club for a year. So to sort of mitigate that issue, the Kubi website basically serves to mitigate that issue and have people work on projects that are a little closer to what the industry-wide projects may seem like, and then depending on whether how you like that, or whether you want to try out new things, you can sort of transition into some other projects. The tech stack, so it's very similar to the front end of the Kubi DAO. we have React, Next.js, which is like built on top of React, and it's hosted on a website called Vercel. Not too much more than that. Essentially, the Kubi website is supposed to be like the static front-end page, which is like the main landing place of our club. Like if somebody searches up like Kubi, like we should be able to see this website, and then from this website, you know, the DAO could be linked or the Spencer project could be linked, and like so on and so forth. Does that make sense? Okay. I guess yeah, it's hosted on Vercel, Next.js, React, and like the DAO front end, this is also based in JavaScript. And how many? Okay, I guess. Like, what's the JavaScript audience here? Like, how many people know it decently, somewhat? Okay, maybe how many of you are? Okay, I don't want to out people like that. Okay, somewhat some experience with JavaScript. How many of you have some experience in JavaScript? Okay, everybody has some experience in a programming language. Okay, good. Then you're fine, because at the end of the day, learning a new language is just learning syntax. Everything else is just, you know, you learn it from your other programming language, whatever it may be. So you'll be fine. If anything, JavaScript actually has some functions that make life really easy. So I think that'll be cool. And working on the Kubi website is like is a really great way to get accustomed to JavaScript, because the Kubi website is not supposed to be like something super sexy and like flashy with like hella animations or anything like that. It's true. It's just meant to be a landing-ish page with some information here and there, and redirects to places with more information. I guess now I'll just talk about like some of the plans I had for the website. So I think the general idea is, since we have a really hard deadline of 2 months, so I guess 2 months and some change, right? I think our aim, or I guess my aim with leading this project is just to establish some sort of MVP, so that we don't pay those $231 extra for 1 whole year. This was just like some of the basic architecture that I just thought of. What each sort of tab on the Kubi website could do. You get like this is visible, right? Yeah. I'm not going to go over all of it because like all of us can read. I spelled little wrong, which is funny. But I think one thing I really wanted to, the 2 things I wanted to focus on was, firstly, our events page. So one of the things that Emma was saying is that there will be like a little Google Calendar on our page for the events. And this is like, this is something that is fun, because then you need to like go into like Kubi's Google Calendar and like copy paste some things and then mess around with something called Google Calendar's iframe, which I think is a fun experience if any of you is interested in doing that. And secondly, and this was like just what I thought was, so everybody knows that we have like a little Notion, right? Foundations of blockchain, like that is public, right? Am I like leaking secrets right now? Okay. So the little boot camp thing, the boot camp that we've made on Notion, what I was personally thinking that was we could use Notion's REST API and sort of embed a part of that Notion into our web page, like say like the first section or something, and then if people wanted to learn more about it, then we take them to the actual Notion web page, right? Which I think this would be like kind of fun, meaning like this would be like a little more than just like styling some buttons and things like that, which it would be fun back-end experience, fun REST API experience. And I don't know if that seems like it's interesting to you. I think we can definitely talk about that more. Lastly, with color scheme and design, I can, how do you like change desktops again? How many fingers? Okay. So we just go to KU block, fuck. Yeah?
I didn't follow what was the payment thing in April.
Payment?
You got to pay money for this website, like you said, right? What does that mean?
I'll explain that. So basically, you see kublockchain.com right now, right?
Yeah.
So this is a WordPress site. And what that means is WordPress is like a content management system. Basically, it's a website builder, Wix, if you guys have heard of Wix and things like that, basically.
Yeah, you mentioned we should have web page before that?
Yes. So currently, website hosting takes some money, right?
Yeah.
And basically, we have outsourced that to like some dude, arbitrary dude.
Like an actual person?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, I'm confused at the question.
This was like 5 years.
Yeah, this was 5 years ago. Yeah, like it had been done like before I was in college, before Emma was in college, actually.
Before we were even born.
Yeah, this was like back in the day, right?
Okay.
And to host the website, I think there's a payment of like $230 per year, and we need to pay that on 26th April if we want this to be hosted again. But like, there's no point if we're gonna make our new website. So that's why, like, before that deadline, so that's like our hard deadline.
So are we making a new whole new web page?
Yeah.
If you go back to the QR code, you can actually scan it, and we actually have a version hosted of it now. So like, if you want to like scan that, you
It's
can
like-
see what we have now.
It's like nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a blank website at the moment. Essentially, we have like the groundwork set up, the routes are set up, and like all that is set up. We just need to make it look nice and add some text into it. So I pulled up the reason I pulled up the website is like, obviously we're gonna use the colors blue and red and all that, KU colors and stuff. But if anybody, so we'll be following most of the architecture this has, with maybe like some changes here and there, we'll see. But if anybody was interested in trying out graphic design and maybe generating like, a couple of background banners, or like making like a custom Jayhawk, or like things like that, if anybody was interested, feel free and I'll make tasks for that accordingly. As for like the actual website, like starting building more on the website, I will add tasks to it by this weekend. And by this weekend, I mean Sunday night, specifically. So that should be, like, there should be at least like 5 tasks on the DAO for the website by the end of Sunday. And yeah, I guess if you guys want to like see the code or understand how web dev works, like we can like discuss that after the meeting, and I'll be happy to show you, very happy to show you what's up. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, compliments? I'm just kidding. No questions? Web dev gods, real. I think Spencer project. And I would like to now call upon Emma Nasseri for the Spencer project.
Thank you for that warm introduction.
I got you.
One other thing I would add is, I didn't explain this well, but like in our form that we have that we're sharing out at the end, we're gonna have like each project, how interested you are in it, and what specifically you want to do. And then like we'll contact you guys like as well to be like, hey, there's a new, like once, like Tej said, once there's a DAO task that's, oh, this would be really specifically good for this person, we'll get in contact with you as well. So don't be like, oh my God, like I don't know how to start or whatever. Okay, so to talk about the Spencer project, I'll share a bit about the big picture. So this started a few years ago when we got the Ripple grant. It was started by Dr. Perry Alexander, who is our faculty sponsor, and he began it as a collaboration with the Spencer Museum of Art. Who's been to the Spencer? Okay, that is great. Everybody in here should go to the Spencer. It's closed Monday, so don't go Monday, but it's a great museum. It's very well run, and kind of the initial vision was that it would just be like a blockchain plus art project. That was like what they went into it with. And so Dr. Alexander and Joey Orr from the Spencer Museum kind of brought in these 2 artists, Stephanie Dinkins and Simon Denny, who are brilliant and very well-renowned artists in kind of the intersection of art and technology. Stephanie Dinkins is actually a Guggenheim Fellow right now, which is like kind of a big deal. And Simon Denny has also many accolades. So many I forget, so I'm not even going to say any of them. But you should look them up. They're really interesting. And then student developer, that's me, was originally brought in to kind of like make some of the ideas a little more concrete. So like that's my role in this project. There have also been other people who've contributed to this project over the years. It's kind of gone on for a while, and it will continue to go on for a while, actually, because the timeline is until end of 2025, I believe. So actually, I am currently like the primary student developer on it, but I'll be graduating this year, so like they're probably going to be looking for someone to take it over. So if any of this is sounding interesting, there's going to be a spot open soon. But yeah, the point of having a developer on the project is to kind of like build out these prototypes of like what they want. So kind of the history of it is there have been a few times when the artists together have come up with an idea of like, we think we want it to be like this, and then we've kind of built something out, and then they were like, never mind. So then we start something new. And we're actually a little bit in one of those swings again, so there's kind of space to build a lot. So here's the current iteration. This is the description, and then I'll show you the visual, which might make more sense, hopefully. Okay, so the current system is, the vision is to identify a physical, real estate property that has a problematic provenance, meaning like there's some sort of controversy about who owns it, where it came from, whatever. So there have been a few of these identified to this point, and I think we actually own one now, maybe. And then in addition to that, the project will buy a correlate property in the metaverse, so like a digital space that corresponds to this real physical space. Okay, all right. So then a series of 100, maybe, claim NFTs are issued to be a claim on the real property. And then the claim NFTs, it's literally just an NFT that has a function that's like claim. That's all it is. But these are minted and then issued to 100 individual paper wallets. And a paper wallet is basically just like the numbers of a wallet, meaning you could just like write it on paper and then like store your assets there. If it's confusing, then you're probably overthinking it. It's like basically just a wallet on paper. And then some of those wallets, so the pieces of paper, would become a part of the museum collection while others are distributed to particular communities. So maybe like some of the communities who at some point had like ownership of the physical land. I don't know, this part is the artist's job. So like I'm not totally sure where we are on that right now, but that's like the vision. And then to kind of interact with the system, how it works is any individual who's in possession of a wallet can execute a claim with the NFT that's in that wallet. And if enough of the users who have access to do that, do it in a coordinated attempt, then those wallets are burned. A new NFT is created, which represents communal ownership, and then fractionalized ownership of that singular NFT is distributed to those wallets. Kind of weird, sorry. I don't know, that might have been kind of confusing. It might make more sense when I show you. However, if like somebody goes rogue and they're like, I'm gonna use my NFT that represents ownership of this land to claim, I'm gonna make my claim, but they do it by themselves, or it's only like a couple rogue people, then those people's NFTs will be automatically like burned.
Wait.
Yes.
So if suppose it's like the four of us, and it's fractionalized NFTs between four of us. Four of us meaning like the one on this row, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then like Cheyenne is like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go claim it. So do our NFTs also get burned, or is it just Cheyenne?
Just him.
It's a game theory.
Yeah, it is a game theory problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, if it's like, okay, wait, like what's the point of this? It's a little bit like, okay, this system has been created to kind of demonstrate to the artist like what it would look like to do this. And then the art part and the like making a point and making a statement and making it artistic and very cool is well within their capabilities. And it's like their responsibility as well. So like that part of it is like not a K blockchain thing. But the K blockchain thing is just to like build out the infrastructure to do this. Okay, so I'll just mention the stack, I guess. Basically kind of what we've been seeing. So it's the same JavaScript, React front end. Ethers.js is a Web3 technology that kind of communicates between like front end and the blockchain using Polygon as well, although that ideally they want to use Ethereum itself, but that's like expensive and we're not doing that yet. And then MongoDB is like where the data is stored, because nothing's really like stored on the blockchain other than like the actual assets themselves. So I'll show you now. Okay, you guys probably already saw this. Wait, I'll show you on this browser. All right, so again, this is for the artist's sake. And if you can see this coming off the screen, that's why we need developers to fix that kind of stuff. So what these two little beads here represent are wallets, and the wallets have an NFT inside of them. Those two have been distributed already, so I'm just gonna reset this so it's like a little clearer. Yeah, another part of this was that it had to be like, because this is an experiment of just like kind of showing how it would work, had to be like resettable. And if this doesn't work, I'm gonna freak out and scream super loud. Okay, wait. Nobody look in case it doesn't work.
It's gonna work.
It's gonna work, I know.
Yeah.
It takes a minute because it's like transactions are occurring.
See?
Phew, right? Ooh, okay, it worked. Okay, so basically there's just like a little about tab. There's a generate tab, and then there's a claim tab. So this would be for like the actual distribution of the wallets. So I'll show you like, this is like, oh my God, sorry. This is like not how the project would work. This is just the experimental part, but we're entering an email, which is how we're distributing the paper wallet. And don't ever like, okay, wait, don't look at my emails, guys. Here we go. So basically, yeah, there's just like some little email sender in the background that I pay like $2 a month for that like send me this. It's from Kubi development team. So this is a paper wallet basically also, if that maybe makes more sense. And then also just for like ease, it prints here. And then I'll just show you like, okay, wait, that was generated. So I just generated this wallet. And in the generation, it also minted an NFT into it. Can't really like prove that to you guys. I actually, if you, the point of this step is to verify that the address actually has one, but I actually hard-coded that to just say that it does no matter what. So that's bad practice, and somebody should help on this project and then fix that. Okay. And then basically this is kind of like entering the credentials. So this part is the part where it's like entering into the wallet. We're like entering and we're like executing the claim. So if I click this, then in the background, the NFT that was inside of there, the action claim was like called upon in that. And so it's off screen. Okay, there it is. So now it turned pink because it's claimed. So the state of it has changed. And there's also a timer. So like in theory, if other ones were to be generated during this time and then they like claimed within the window in a coordinated attempt, then that would, if it was above the threshold, which I also hard-coded the threshold. I need to edit a bunch of stuff. But if it's like above the threshold amount, which should be 50%, then that's when like the new, they'll all be burned at the end, and then the new NFT will be minted and fractionalization will occur. Okay, I just talked a lot about that. Does anyone have questions they can articulate? Or is it kind of like general question, like that was kind of confusing and weird? Oh yeah, sorry.
What is the expected outcome of this?
Okay, that's a great question. So expected outcome of this is the artists determine a specific direction from this that they want to move in. Oh yeah, the timer ran out, so it's destroying the NFT. That part actually does work as well. They kind of understand how they want to use this, and then probably while we won't use this front end, like this front end is just kind of a shell to communicate what's going on behind the scenes. Whatever happens in the background that they end up liking, then that like software will be used. And then what's supposed to come of the project is kind of like whatever they want, like just kind of some interesting art basically. And it's kind of cool for KU to like be able to collaborate with like these two artists. So it's also a little bit of like a cool thing that KU is getting to be part of in that way. Okay. Cool. Okay, so that was like a little demo of that, I suppose. Okay, yeah, this is next. So the fractionalization of NFTs, that part is actually not working. So yet, I just like haven't done it yet. So that's like, I'm in my immediate future, I'm like doing that. And then in the last meeting with the artists, one of the artists was like, it would actually, this is cool, but like it'd be cool if we like built our own metaverse and then like did it in the metaverse. And that's a picture of my face when he said that. So I was kind of like, okay, I don't even know how to do that. So that's also a to-do thing, is like Google like how to build a metaverse. And then maybe that's like maybe that's the next iteration. So if you're interested in metaverse and want to research that with me, that's an open invitation.
And is this, I mean, fair enough, but is this supposed to have like legal implications, like
No.
NFT? Like, is this
Well, so the part of it.
Like, is this a legal exercise?
Okay, so what sort of exercise like this part is more in like just kind of a more technical sense of like being given requirements and then delivering it. In the larger picture though, like what sort of exercise is that, is like it's art, like
Okay,
so that is like kind of part of it, where it's like some of it is really just a call into question. It's kind of what you said, is like, okay, well, like what does it even matter if it's like this metaverse or that metaverse, or what if it's like physical or in the metaverse? Does it like,
I'm just curious.
yeah, no, so kind of to raise questions like that is actually like kind of maybe part of the larger picture. Yeah, and that is a very legitimate question of like what would be the impact of like doing it on one metaverse versus a different. And I think part of it was to have more artistic control in the experiment. It would be advantageous to kind of like have like kind of a custom metaverse, and then I think also to launch something like that and then have there be like kind of a launching project associated with it would kind of like bring value or bring like interest into that additional metaverse that was like created. Does that make sense? Metaverse stuff is like kind of, I feel like people also have different definitions of like what is a metaverse. So that also might be kind of, there's some ambiguity around that. Maybe, but basically I think by the definition of metaverse that I'm using here, it's more just like a digital geography, if that makes sense. And not necessarily like a VR experience or like a visual thing, but more like a very simple geography. Okay. And then if anyone was like wanting to contribute in not like a take this over type of way, then it would be like kind of UI improvements. Like you guys saw the circles going off screen. That was embarrassing. We need to fix that. And then also like scaling, because I've actually never done it with more than like 10 wallets going at the same time. So like 100 is like very different than that, right? Especially if there's all these transactions happening at the same time. So that's kind of a future issue of like, well, if they want 100 wallets going at the same time, that's kind of a different beast. Okay, that was all of our official project content information. This is the attendance. So I hope you guys will fill this out and also answer the questions about what you might be interested in contributing to and in what ways. That would be amazing. And then I guess the other thing to explain a little more was like, everybody saw the DAO and like how there are tasks in there, how you can get Kubiks, etc. But basically like, so you do have to be an executive to create a task. So unless there's a task existing for something that you really want to do, if you're looking to contribute, or if you have already been contributing and want Kubiks for it, contact whoever's like the point person on the project. So like for me, it would be for the Spencer, it would be me. For the DAO, it would be Hudson. For the Kubi website, it'd be Tej. And then we'll like make sure you get your Kubiks. So that's basically answering the question of how do you get Kubiks for the contributions. Does anyone have questions about that? Okay. Also, a future feature of the DAO is to have it be so you guys can like submit your own like what you did and then get Kubix for it. And just have it be like something we approve. Okay. Okay. No questions? Only clapping? Okay. Thanks, everyone.